Good morning, everyone. Once again, welcome to Wizards Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here, Cardell Dudley Jr., and Wilson Tarpe Jr. And look, man, Washington Wizards, another contest out west. Told you guys a couple nights ago, coming off the loss to the Lakers, they be taking on the Clippers this evening. Harden's triple double faces the Clippers in a 110-93 win over the Wizards. Uh, Balanced effort from the Clippers. I think the third quarter was really sloppy play from both teams. But the Clippers got a lot of their work done early. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about your thoughts on Washington tonight. For much of the night, outside of the third quarter, where you saw like some fight after the multiple timeouts from Coach Keith to kind of get them together. We had a Kawhi sight in the night. He's back, but Kurt, I think you were here to talk about Norm Powell the other night, and yeah.
I mean, it was
we'll start with you.
Oh, go.
I'm gonna start with Ray.
Oh, go ahead, Ray.
Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, like you said, the Clippers just came out and got this game over with pretty much in the first two quarters. The third quarter was just looked like they were just going through the motions. But yeah, just typical from what we've seen of the bad Wizards, so to speak. And I mean, it's like it always goes back to the shot selection, really. 11 for 46 from three. That's just kind of inexcusable. It's not working. You got to figure out something else. Typically in a game like this, we would expect the turnovers to be lopsided. The Wizards actually took care of the ball better, if I can even use that in this game, but they had less turnovers. But the Clippers were just that much more effective offensively outside of that it just really didn't matter. Clippers had 50 points in the paint, 23 fast break points. They only scored 12 points off the Wizards' 16 turnovers. But again, if we look at the wasted possessions on the Wizards end with bad shot selection, and that's just more opportunities for the Clippers to take advantage of, which they did. Harden, he was just doing whatever he wanted, plain and simple. I think he had a triple double by the third. Just no resistance. So yeah, whatever the Wizards do well didn't travel to the West Coast. So Clippers came in, got an easy one, and really just got it over with early, and just took a breather for the rest of the game.
Cardell.
Yeah, it was just a clinic. With James Harden controlling the game from the opening tip pretty much throughout the game when he was on the floor. Again, like a defense, poor shot selection. Pretty much ended the game by halftime. I know the Wizards kind of made a early fourth quarter push, got it down to 12, and then Ty Lue put the starters back in, and they got right back to work and ended the game. It was simple as that. In the first half, the Clippers led 63-41 at halftime. The Wizards shot 15 of 47 from the field, 31%. And of their 47 shot attempts, 25 for threes, and they only made 5. The Clippers, on the other hand, was 24 of 43 from the field, 55%. And of their 43 shot attempts, 19 were threes, and they made 9, which was 47%. Just a more efficient brand of basketball. And they was, 6 of 6 from the line, but the Wizards was 6 of 7. They out-rebounded the Wizards in the first half, 29-20. 18 assists on 24 made field goals in the first half. So that tells you the ball was moving. It was efficient. And obviously, James had a lot to do with that. That's what I mean by it was just a clinic on the efficiency, man. Look, we all know what the Wizards are doing. We all know that trying to get as many ping pong balls as possible to try to, being a runner for the number one pick. We already know that. That's why the strategy is the same game to game. But regardless, man, it has to be some type of better effort to just play just try to play a little bit more efficient brand of basketball. It's like they're not even trying at times, and it's the same deal. It's just basically like they come into games and teams know they're gonna get a win if they don't beat themselves, and it shouldn't be like that. I mean, like Harden had 7, 7, and 6 at halftime, and only took 6 shots, 2 of 6. He was cruising. You see what I'm saying? It was just easy work, and it should never be that way, man. You know, the Clippers. Look, when the Clippers do what they should do, a team that's gonna come in and play the style of ball that the Wizards gonna play with, where a lot of times it just doesn't make sense, and it's very, very inefficient, and obviously ineffective, as you see with their record. Put them away early, so we can get rest and move on to the next one. That's pretty much what they did. Derrick Jones did his thing, had 19 points and 8 rebounds on 7 to 10. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was 3 of 5 from deep, and he's not even known as an efficient 3-point shooter like that. You know what I mean? But he found the rhythm and did what he does. Kawhi, 23 minutes, 15 to 7, solid. Zubac was just an anchor in the paint doing what he does. James had 17, 13, and 12. The 6 turnovers came during that sloppy period you was talking about at the top of the show. And yeah, Norman Powell, he should be an all-star this year. 22 points, 9 of 18. The only 3 assists, 3 rebounds, the only thing, 3 steals. The only thing you could say was bad was he was 2 of 10 from deep. But he had it going elsewhere, so it didn't really matter, man. It's just more the same. And my advice to the youngest, man, just keep your head up and keep just plugging away and keep trying to just get better. Don't let this affect you, man, because this has nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? Just try to learn the right way to navigate things out there on the floor, so that when this tide starts to turn, so to speak, in their favor, they're ready to go and they're not defeated. You know what I mean? And then you know, the powers that be decide we need to move on to other players, man. But right now it's pretty bad, and until they change some things with the style of play and the focus on, you know, the strategic part of how they plan to attack teams night in and night out, it's gonna be more of the same.
Yeah, little to add. You saw a better, efficient team go about their business, check their boxes early, and like you said, Harden was in full command of this game from opening tip. Outside of that stretch, that crazy, you know, back and forth wild stretch in the third quarter, it was all Clippers the entire time. It never felt like either was a couple times the Wizards pushing. It never felt like it would become anything more outside of that sloppy stretch. But even then, you know, it wasn't anything crazy. You talked about Norm, like even shooting 2 for 2, 10 from 3, you still shot 50 from the floor. It was good to see Kawhi out there still getting his time back. And then I thought the Clippers bench was huge. We know that they've been deep for a while the past couple of years now under Ty Lue, obviously because at different times they're usually missing some of their top-end guys for different stretches. Obviously, you know, Paul's not there anymore. We know what it is with Kawhi, with Paul out of there. It's only one person you knew you were going to be missing for a little bit. They're back working their way through it. But, you know, for the most part, they've been there together. I think the game last night, a bunch of folks didn't play, and they still – was that Boston they played last night? The Clippers, and they pushed them. They pushed them in a game where they were missing a bunch of their rotational players. So if you could push Boston while missing some of your top rotation guys, yeah, your bench is probably pretty decent. Thought Mo Bamba definitely came off and gave them some really good minutes. Amir Coffey's been steadily, you know, improving his role over there over time. And yeah, man, player of the game, guys. Not going to belabor this.
James, it was all easy work.
All right, X factor.
I'm gonna go with Derrick Jones. You know, defensively, you know, the work he did, the work he did on not just Koulibaly and Kuz. You know, him and Kawhi obviously was switching. You know, they switch a lot with the Clippers, cross matches, stuff like that. You know, look, the Wizards starting forwards were 8 of 25. And then Derrick Jones had 19 and 8 on 7 to 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep, 2 of 2 from the line. Plus 13, can't ask for much more.
Right, you had a different candidate.
No, because this has kind of become par for the course for Norman Powell. So yeah, I agree with Derrick Jones. Yeah, he was just effective in a lot of different ways. He was part of the early surge to get the Clippers off to the fast start.
Yeah, I have no argument for me at all. And shout out to Derrick Jones. What's it called? He was on the Mavs last year, ends up on the Clippers. He was solid for the Mavs. He was a solid piece for them last year and fits like a glove over here for the Clippers. He's been very productive. So, you know, again, for the Wizards, you guys heard everything we've been saying. Been talking to you guys all season. No shock, you know, no game tomorrow, but no game later today. Their next stop on this West Coast trip is Phoenix on Saturday with one of their former, you know, someone they used to see in their division quite a bit. You know, Nick Richards is over there now. So we'll see how all that goes. And, you know, the last time they played Phoenix was out on this coast before they went on a trip. So we'll check in with you guys Saturday evening.